Good morning. Well, afternoon. Hello, and welcome to Messy Bun Manifesting. I'm Michelle. Welcome to the channel. And yeah, the messy bun is definitely messying today for sure. So, okay, today I'm going to be normally I don't like timestamp my videos, but this eclipse season has been intense for a lot of people because of how much building has been going on since, I don't know, like 2018 probably. This one specifically goes back to, and of course, the lawn guys are here. So apologies if you hear the lawnmowers. I'm very grateful they're mowing, but the noise and then the dog starts screaming. So if you hear any of that, I apologize. But anyway, so this actually corresponds to maybe what was happening for you in, I want to say January of 2024. It's in the article, in my Substack article. So if you want to head over to my Substack, the link is in the description. The article should be coming out or should be out today. But anyways, basically there's a lot of releasing all the stuff, all the things we've been learning and really kind of envisioning for ourselves over the last several years, and how we've been healing and working with our shadows and all the stuff that we always talk about, and that has been super intense lately. It's all for this moment, because this is the commencement. This is the, and I love that basically you go to sleep on Thursday and you wake up on Friday, and like the eclipse has happened in your sleep if you are in the US for the most part. Because it does kind of go over from one day to the other, you might be experiencing it if you're watching this somewhere else in a different time frame. But for those of us in the US, it's kind of what's going to happen. So, with that said, let me just jump in with the invitation that's happening on Thursday night to Friday morning. So we go to bed, and this is in the US. We go to bed because this, like all this kind of stuff happens in the overnight. The eclipse lasts from Thursday evening to Friday early morning. The full moon, or yeah, the full moon is like at 11 something night, Central Time. Again, adjust for your own time zone. I'm in Central, so that's what my frame reference is. But basically, you're going to go to bed maybe with loose ends happening in your journey that need tidying up or tying up, like stuff like what are you releasing, or what might be still, like when you clean out your closet and you have all the trash bags and they're kind of still in the living room because you're waiting to carry them out to the trash bin or to the curb to be picked up. Like that's kind of sometimes how we go to bed during these things. So I'm going to encourage you to kind of take all that trash out and leave it for the trash man, so to speak, that on the corner. Because when you go to bed in that night, in the nighttime, all of that stuff is going to get removed. It's going to get picked up and removed very quickly, very fast. There's a lot of like Uranus influence going on where things are going to be ripped off like a band-aid. So, normally we're like, oh, we're going to have this easy transition and this processing time and all of it, and the cool thing is we're in Virgo mansion. So all of this is on a backdrop of Virgo, which, hello, friendly neighborhood Virgo. We are the sign that helps you process stuff. That's kind of why I think I was called to become a coach, is, and an intuitive reader, is helping folks process things, process how they think about themselves, process how you are interacting with yourself, with others, with the world at large, with your situations, all that kind of stuff. So the mansion that we are in is going to help this process so that you can just, it's not as shocking to have that stuff removed so quickly, because when you wake up on Friday, it's like you're through the portal, eclipse is done. Now you're going to feel it the next couple of months, feel all the reverberations. But honestly, with everything, how you navigate this through the portal to that new version of you that we've been talking about for quite some time, that just shows up, that that shines their light, like that's who you've been being called to become. That's who you're stepping into on the other side of this eclipse. And you can either, and with everything, we can do it easy, like, oh, I'm super excited to wake up on Friday and just jump into my stuff. Or you've not been doing the work, you've been ignoring the work, you've been sweeping it under the rug, you've not been dealing with your shadow, all that kind of stuff. All that might happen. And that makes things a little more challenging. So, have you been doing your work for this releasing? Saying you're okay with letting stuff go? Because sometimes, we think about, oh, we have to release things because they're things we don't like. But in fact, sometimes we're just, in this comfort zone with stuff that's uncomfortable and doesn't work for us just because we're used to it. And the new thing that could be the awesome thing we don't want to step into because it's scary because it's new. So you have to be open to letting things go. You have to be okay with letting things go, and including the things that you might be clinging to that is a vibration of the absence of the things you want. So if you want something, you want a new house, you want to go somewhere, you want a different world you're seeing, you want something more personal, like more money, or you want a new wardrobe. It could be that simple. Or want peace of mind. Are you willing to let go of clinging to the absence of those things and the fears that kind of come with them to have what you want and to be the person who you need to be to have those things? Like, that's a really big question. So all that stuff is going to leave in basically a snap. Like, it's going to leave. It's going to be gone. And if you try, now this is something that people don't talk about either, because there's all this transition and whatever. But a lot of times, I don't know about you, but in the past, there's been times where stuff has left, or reactions and responses have left the building. And when something happens and you turn around to reach for that reaction that maybe has always been sitting on the shelf and it has been your go-to for the last, I don't know, 40, 50 years. And you wake up and it's gone and you're like, crap. And then you focus on the fact that you don't have that coping mechanism, which was never supposed to be there in the first place. And instead of saying, well, I guess I need to forge a new path, you flounder around trying to find the thing that you used to use to cope with. And now it's not there anymore because it's just not. And instead of saying, you know what, it is what it is, I need to turn around and here we go. That's what needs to happen versus the wandering around the room trying to find the stuff that already has been thrown away, because that stuff was never helpful, is no longer helpful, even if it was at some point in time way in past. And that's where hiccups come in when you start doing that. So I'm going to encourage you, don't do that anymore. In fact, I have something for you, which I think you'll love. So my suggestion for you is, before you go to bed on Thursday night, and this could be no matter where you are in the world, before you go to bed, set an intention. And you can set this intention, write it down, say it, what have you. But this is the intention that I came up with that I think is pretty good to help you navigate this through Thursday to Friday eclipse. So your intention is, it is my intention to receive a restful and revitalizing night's sleep. I choose to release and let go of anything in the way of me becoming the highest version of me that I am becoming. I choose this with love, grace, and I choose and am open to receiving all my good fully. And so it is. And what I'll do is I will copy that and put it in the description so that you have it. But I'll repeat it again, because I know some people be like, oh, could you repeat that? Oh, of course I can. It is my intention to receive a restful and revitalizing night's sleep. I choose to release and let go of anything in the way of my becoming the highest version of me that I am becoming. I choose this with love, grace, and I choose and am open to receiving all of my good fully. And so it is. Okay. So that's the thing I'm going to invite you to say to yourself, maybe write it down in your journal, like whatever. And you may even do a brain dump. Like you might even, if you're journaling, you might write all the things you know about that you want to release. And then also, the reason I say, I don't put a thing like, oh, we're going to make this list. At the end of it, just say I'm releasing all of it fully, because there are some things that might be unconscious, subconscious, that need releasing, and being open to releasing all of that is what, without having to, get stuck in analysis paralysis, trying to figure out what it is I need to release. Just put it out there. I'm open to releasing all of that. I'm open to releasing everything that's in my way of becoming that fully realized, authentic version of me. I openly and choose to release this with love and grace, and so it is. So what I do want to do, though, also is I want to ask the cards. So I brought the cards. So I'm going to ask basically more around, like, what do we need to know for this full moon eclipse event? What is something that we need to know? And if you want, I'll pull 3 cards and you can pick 1, 2, or 3 for your version of the card. And then I will probably pull them all together in a reading, for everybody. But if you resonate with one over more so than the other ones, then that's probably a message for you. If you resonate with the full, then that whole thing is for you. So, and we are using, because again, we are in such an interesting, intense eclipse time, I want to use the gentle spirit animal oracles. By the way, guys, I have seen so many dragonflies, which are like my symbol, over the last couple of weeks. And I had a hummingbird visit me. Like, I was sitting on my back porch and it just visited me. It was flying. I've never seen one come so close. And it was like, hello. And it happened twice. So I had to look that up and receive those messages. So if that's happening to you as the seasons are changing, make sure you keep the Google on standby and ask, like, what's the spiritual meaning of whatever thing you're noticing in nature? So, okay. So we're going to say, universe, what do we need to know about this full moon and lunar eclipse in Pisces happening Thursday to Friday? Yes. Okay. So we have card number 1 is Cow Spirit. Isn't she gorgeous? So Cow Spirit, the miracles are endless. And this is right side up. So it's a reminder. It's a reminder that when you walk through that portal, like, don't be afraid, okay? Don't be afraid that, oh my God, what am I leaving behind? What if I forget something? Like, who wants to go on vacation? What if I forget something? Just, start adopting I can probably buy whatever I need where I'm going. I mean, unless you're going to some, like, you're on a Peace Corps trip or something and you're going to the middle of nowhere with nothing. But generally, if you're going on vacation or you're moving or whatever, because I mean, how many times have you moved and you've lost something in the move? And you always can find it somewhere. So, go get a new one. It's fine. But miracles are endless. Okay. So as you're moving through this portal, this Thursday to Friday portal, number ones, just remember, it's okay to let stuff go, because the miracles are coming. They are there. You just got to walk up and be open and be in awareness and keep your center no matter what's going on, so that you can direct your focus instead of somebody else directing your focus, and attract those miracles. Okay. And number 2 is you got Scarab Beetle Spirit, which is magic works through you. Magic works through you. And this is to remind you, as we talk about manifesting, and everybody likes to talk about the rituals and the crystals. And if you've followed me for any length of time, you know that my signature trademark tagline is spiritual, practical, and no more glitter covered BS. And this is a true reminder of that, because the magic is not in the crystal. Yes, they have vibration, but the magic is not in the crystal. The magic is not in the sage leaf that you write all your stuff on and then burn it, which, by the way, that is almost blasphemous. As a foodie, kitchen witchy type person, That's almost blasphemous to burn up sage leaves trying to manifest things when they will do you so much better when you are cooking up a lovely soup and sauce. And while you're doing that high vibrational cooking you love so much with your sage leaves, intend in that high vibrational state for the thing you want instead of wasting your sage leaves, okay? Um, because here's the bottom line right here, magic works through you. They don't call it co-creation because you're using crystals and sages. Now, mind you, you've seen my stuff. I love me some crystals. Like I have them on my desk. Here's my, I have, it's like an amethyst citrine thing. I love them. I think they're gorgeous and they all do have vibrations, but think of crystals kind of like Advil, or I should say ibuprofen. Um, you take it to allow your body, it helps your body to feel better in the moment so that you can rest. So, like if you have a headache, right? That headache is kind of indicative of like you need to go rest. So, take the aspirin or the ibuprofen and make the headache stop so you can sleep, not so you can keep going doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. Think of your crystals the same way. And then what happens is when the thing wears off in 4 to 6 hours, you have the headache again if you're forcing stuff or doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. But if you've rested, you feel better. So the crystals, actually, you set your intentions, you know you are the magic because it's in you, and you start doing your thing, focusing your energy, and then their support is there. But that's like saying, crystals are tools and all these other rituals are tools, and your vision board is a tool. It doesn't make it happen. You make it happen. You, with your energy, your alignment, your focus, gratitude practice, all the 7 steps that I keep talking about that's in my book. When you are doing those practices, yes, you can use the tools, but you have to remember the tools are not the magic. You are. Okay, number 2's looking at you. Number 3, we have rabbit spirit, but he's upside down. And now remember, rabbit is not, rather, upside down is not hide your kids, hide your wife. Upside down means I didn't know that. I forgot that I knew that, or I know that and I'm being a whiny baby. And this is now is a lucky time. So we got to remember, even though this is for number 3s, even though the world is kind of like a dumpster fire a little bit, it's kind of like crazy, crazy ass pants. Okay. Right now. And it feels like everything's going a million miles an hour, and everything just, when you're looking out, it's like everybody comes home and it's like, oh my God, it's so peoply outside, right? Because it just feels like craziness. So we forget, upside down is I forgot that this is a lucky time. Now is a lucky time because, and there's that. And then also what just came to me is a lot of people see like Mercury retrogrades, eclipses, all of these is like, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's awful. Everything's going to, no, these are helpers for you. They're invitations. They help you move through things. And then the energy clears away everything that needs to be cleared away. It's our own attachment to this stuff that sometimes will muck it all up. So if you can shift your focus from the crazy pants that you watch on the news to something fun, like, I don't know, Big Bang Theory. I watch that at 5 o'clock instead of the news now. Maybe if you shift your perspective on how eclipses and retrogrades can support your manifesting versus muck it all up, you can change this to, you can start thinking, now is a lucky time. It's a very lucky time. This is an amazing time if you allow yourself to flow in this space of this energy. Okay. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And if we're going to do them as a message, we're going to remember, number 1 is miracles are endless. So walking in through that portal on the 28th to the 27th to the 28th, this Thursday to Friday with that eclipse and stuff. Remember, miracles are everywhere. They're supposed to happen. We need to just let them. Then we have Scarab, which is a helper. The magic works through you, not the stuff, you. And then this is a really lucky time. Remember that it's a lucky time. Don't get bogged down in all of the crazy crazy pants stuff, and don't get bogged down in like the old ways of thinking about retrogrades and eclipses and all that business. It's all for you, not to you. Okay. And that's the messages for this week. So I hope that was helpful. Just a quick programming note. Um, Next week, there will not be a Messy Bun Manifesting. Instead, I'm doing a week-long series on sharing my signature 7 steps to manifesting dreams practice that I think you're going to love. So every day, Monday through Friday at noon, join me right here. And I'll give you a little snippet each week, or rather each day. And then there'll be an invitation at the end. So I hope that you come and join me at noon Central, Monday through Friday next week. And those replays will be there in a playlist as well. So, and then we'll kind of get back to this. I'm juggling this. Again, I'm going to wait to make any announcements as to what's coming next for things that have been going on regularly until Monday. So, which I think Monday's the 31st of August. Anyways, till September, because I'm making some changes and I think you're going to love them. So I hope that this is helpful. I hope that your eclipse and your full moon is lovely and that you have a beautiful thing. Remember to do that intention before you go to bed. And I will see you next week for the 7 steps to manifesting dreams practice playlist that I'm going to share with you. So looking forward to seeing you later. Bye. Love you.